Hello and welcome to another episode of the Runaway Franchise podcast. Each week we watch a movie that's part of a series of 4 or more. This week we took a look at 1986's Aliens, but guess what? I did not forget about my friends.
Oh, hey, I'm Dom.
Oh, hey, I'm Tom. And that movie was way different than the first one.
Yeah.
Like, so much
different. Since Alien has more than 4, by
movies.
simple brain math, you can figure out we watched Alien already, and we watched Aliens today. This is the second episode. It is the second movie. None of that Resident Evil putting 2 movies in 1 episode bullshit, because these movies are longer, and I don't have it in me, honestly.
They're a lot longer.
So long. We watched the director's cut, which adds an additional 16 minutes of footage.
Yeah, since the title is already pluralized, we needed to add more content.
Yeah, dude.
So we watched more content. We have more people here. We have more mics. We have more animals.
No.
We don't?
We have this. Same amount of all that. Just the movie was like 16 minutes longer.
Oh.
That was it.
I enjoyed the bonus footage.
Yeah, dude. We'll get into the bonus footage. Maybe we'll have a little bonus footage section. But first, nobody ever would know what a movie's about unless you read the back of the box. Because let's be real, you're at Blockbuster with your boys looking for something to do on Friday night. You're reading a lot of back of boxes.
Really too many back to the boxes.
So many.
Honestly, I probably read the same, 5 backs of the boxes every time I went to Blockbuster. Because there was always, 5 movies where I'm like, I don't know if I want to take the leap yet.
Isn't that crazy? You used to walk around and look at the cover of the movie.
That's all you had.
And then look at the back of the box. And then you couldn't take your phone out and Google if this movie sucks or not. So really, the back of the box is what's going to bring you into this. So what do we got, Dom?
Okay. Aliens. In this action-packed sequel to Alien, Sigourney Weaver returns as Ripley, the only survivor from mankind's first encounter with
Wrong already.
with the
Jonesy the cat's
monstrous
alive.
alien. Her account of the alien and the fate of her crew are received with some skepticism until the mysterious disappearance of the colonists on LV-426, I guess that's the planet,
It's
the moon.
lead her to join a team of high-tech colonial marines sent in to investigate. Personally supervised by director James Cameron, this special edition includes... I don't need to read that. That's that's not about the film.
Just read the last sentence again. That has to do with anything.
Personally supervised by director James Cameron, this special edition
actually went into space. He was in the movie.
Eliminated prior to the film's 1986 release, which broadened the narrative scope and enriched the emotional impact of the film.
I think they're talking about the scenes that we watched.
they
the extra
are.
scenes. So, most importantly, we will touch on whether or not they broaden the narrative scope and enrich the emotional impact of the film. And just reading that, I am laughing because they they added 2 shitty scenes where you establish first names between was that sexual tension?
No, they were just quite
They were on the same
infatuated
level.
with each other.
Yeah, they were just like, you know what? I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah.
This movie...
Oh, shit! Tom has never seen this movie.
I've never seen this movie.
No.
Not because I never wanted to. It just never...
It never happened.
It never organically happened. Never caught it on TV.
You didn't watch enough Spike TV.
Somebody didn't
dude.
Somebody didn't come over to my house and go, "Hey man, you want to check out this sweet VHS of Aliens?"
No, not yet. That's the next one. Is Aliens? Is
Oh, that's
Yep.
Aliens.
Yeah.
We talked about how there was a gap in time between the last movie and this movie.
like in real people years.
Yeah, so this movie is in 1980. Was made in 1986. Came out in 1986.
Right.
They planned on a film to come out in 1983 actually, but
Do
Fox,
they not want to fuck with Star Wars?
No, Fox had a corporate restructuring.
Oh, boring.
And the new bosses just postponed that plan for a while.
Gonna backburner this bad boy.
Yeah, and then they later greenlit it and had James Cameron writing it, but then his Terminator movie came out. It was a smashing hit in 1984.
I think 4.
1984. So they were like, "Oh yeah, make Aliens."
You know, it's crazy how much putting James Cameron on this chain, not saying it's any worse than
So
the previous
much
movie, but
tone
it's
difference.
so different.
Such a different movie. Such a different, and it's
So-
not bad because
No.
it's at least somebody.
It's a Jimmy C movie. Jimmy C, baby.
Are you guys personal friends?
Yeah, dude. Me and James Cameron. I call him Jimmy C.
Well, I don't know him personally, but
He makes
I
a heck
feel
of an
I would still call
action-packed
him James.
Movie. Yeah, I probably would too. Or Mr. Cameron or
But
Sir.
the tone chain works because you at least have a guy that did it right, you know, like he kept
worked
enough.
on his strengths.
You got
Yeah.
the
Two
blockbuster
strengths.
action guy making a blockbuster action movie. Last time we had a much more of a thriller, tense
Horror movie,
horror
really.
movie,
Yeah.
and now you've got Space Marines with catchphrases galore and
Yeah.
muscles, and
So
you have a
much
lot
greasy
more
muscles.
aliens.
We talked about it while we were watching it, but it felt like Predator before Predator even came out.
Yeah. So this movie, Tom has not seen before. Dom and I have seen several times each.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
I've caught it on
um,
TV so many times.
We did not remember the first 40 minutes of the movie at all.
No.
Me
Well, it
neither.
didn't help that we were watching the director's cut.
Okay. At this point, we usually like to go through the plot.
We
Okay,
should do a quick.
I'll
old
give you a
plot.
quick
Yeah, dude,
rundown.
let's run this bad boy through, Dom.
So what basically happens is they find Ripley floating through space after the first movie.
She's icy.
Picks up right where the first movie left off, but 57 years later. So should be an old ass woman, except she's not. She's young. She's still ready to go. The company that she worked for is all pissed off that she blew up their spaceship. Why did you blow up the spaceship?
Had a lot
Damn
of
it!
stuff on
Real
it.
quick, that spaceship only cost $42 million for a gigantic spaceship.
Isn't it crazy
I
how
thought
that
was
spaceship only
pretty
cost 42
goddamn
million?
reasonable.
Especially considering we have
We have billion-dollar fighter jets.
yeah, fighter jets.
The fucking spaceship that could tow a billion trillion tons of ore.
Hey,
Yeah.
we don't know the what do you call it, the exchange rate. We don't know the.
No, they're
how-
Earthlings.
We don't know how strong the dollar is though.
Oh,
It could
okay.
be space credits.
Yeah, sure.
All right, whatever, dude. But I thought it was very reasonable.
So they are pissed off at Ripley for destroying the ship. 57 years later, I mean, you gotta let it go.
They've written that ship off knowing they're they're a global, they're more than global.
Yeah,
they're an
they're
interspace
galactic.
corporation, and they're pissy about $42 million from
Honestly,
57 years
it's
ago.
pretty realistic.
I guess.
No way,
You
dude.
saying
No
it
way,
like that,
dude.
it's
no
pretty
way.
realistic.
They would have been stoked for the write-off. They're like, they blew the ship up. That's a loss. We're obviously making profits. We're making money hand over fist.
Yeah, all that space ore.
We're setting up. We're terraforming, dude. We got other planets that we're building.
Which is the next part of the overview.
all right. I'm
and-
done. I'm done. I'm
And
done about corporate
so
tax structure.
They're pissed off, and they don't believe her story about the alien. So what happens is
or do
They have
they?
colonized.
they colonized the
moon.
planet
Yeah.
where they found the aliens in the first movie.
and had no problems.
No problems for 57. Well, they said
20
20-ish years. They had no problems. But Ripley's awake, and now the problems start. They find out that they have lost contact with the colony.
But do you know why?
Well, I know why, because I watched the movie.
All right. So you'd think everything was fine. The corporation gave them a grid to go look at.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty fucking evil, probably.
They want the alien
They
bad.
want the aliens. So basically, they're like, Ripley, you're full of shit. And then like, hey, terraformers, totally look in this place. It'll probably be fine. Just kidding. That's
It
where the
was
ship
full
with
of
the alien
aliens.
exit.
They sent a family out.
Yeah,
They
that was
said a
kind of
family.
fucked up. But that was a deleted scene.
Oh, that was the deleted scene.
There's a whole scene in there.
It was emotional.
It really widened
Back
the
of the box
emotional scope
was
of
right.
the film. So whatever, yada yada yada, and all the colonists
They're dead.
they're not responding.
and they got to send in Ripley.
They're not dead
because-
yet.
well,
They're just not answering.
they're not responding
They have
because
not picked up
aliens
the
are
phone.
messing up their stuff.
Totally, probably.
They
We don't
have a
know
name
yet.
for them now. even.
Yeah, they call them the xenomorphs.
The xenomorphs.
For people that don't believe Ripley, they certainly were fine with categorizing what.
Well, they've made it clear that they've gone on quote unquote bug hunts before,
Yeah.
and there's even some pretty cool sex jokes about doing it with aliens. Like, oh, that was a male alien. And they're like, with those aliens, it doesn't even matter. And it was fucking cool because they are going out there and they are shooting people and fucking weird aliens. So you know these Marines are ready to roll.
Yeah, so they are ready to roll.
We
basically.
skipped the most important
No,
part of
they're-
we
we
skipped
didn't.
the most important part of the movie.
They get Ripley to join the Space Marines to roll out to this planet to see what's going on. They know what's going
she's
on, but they
basically
don't
like,
really.
we're gonna blow them up, right? If the aliens are there, we're gonna shoot them and kill them, and they're like totally.
Initially, she didn't want to do it, but then she had a nightmare. So
Whenever I wake up from a nightmare, I instantly
Let me do that thing
flip-flop
that was in the nightmare.
I always want to do it. I flip flop
God.
on my thoughts.
I had a nightmare. I was bungee jumping, and the bungee snapped, and I died. But I woke up right before I died. So today I'm gonna go bungee jumping.
That's instantly what I do.
Yeah, everyone would.
So they roll out with an all-star cast of really
Total
awesome
dudes.
Space Marines.
And chicks.
You got Velasquez, the
Michelle Rodriguez
the
of, of days past.
She's jacked. She's greasy. She's got huge muscles. And then you got your Bill Paxton, who's Hudson,
Yeah.
and he's not jacked, but he's greasy.
He's
and
so
got
goofy.
he's fit.
He's goofy,
He's
and
fit.
he's got
He
a,
ain't fit.
he's got a cool barbed wire tattoo around his neck.
You got Hicks, who's really the most
Soldiery.
he's the most soldiery, most reasonable. He's also jacked. He's greasy, and he's also Kyle Reese in Terminator.
Right.
And then you got a couple of more here and there. Bishop the android,
Yeah,
who
the
Ripley doesn't trust.
synthetic human.
Never mind.
Okay. And a few more. You got the captain. You got just a bunch
the guys.
of...
You got
Drake is the other meathead.
And really,
you got the ragtag crew of Marines who are ready to
And
go.
Burke. You got Burke
Yeah.
coming in there, the dick
The
corporate man.
Scum.
And the part I mention all these Space Marines is because of the shots they show in the beginning. They're like 10 minutes of shots where it's just all their muscles, close up on muscles. They're very greasy, shiny.
And James Cameron, for some reason, loves, like, at least at this time, he loves doing, like, pull-up shots. Like,
Yeah.
people doing pull-ups.
A lot of
because
pull-ups.
Wouldn't
You
you?
get
Like-
them guns.
Yeah, man.
The whole crew rolls out to the colony, and
There's a couple of really iconic lines, though.
yeah, there are.
When the Marines are waking up. Dom, this is a good one for you if you want to mention it now.
Yeah, the captain goes, "Come on, let's move out, hurry up!" And then Bill Paxton goes, "Will you get my slippers for me?" And then
hey, man, the floor is pretty cold, man.
and then the captain goes, "Look into my eye,"
And
like
just,
that makes
pulls his
any
eye
sense.
down. He's pretty cool. And then he talks about everyone's assholes and their elbows.
Yeah, really strange stuff from the captain.
It's like they took
Yeah,
like
how you say his name? Apon? Or
Apon, yeah.
they took like
Apone or Apon.
a while to get their catchphrases down. It's like, let's just kind of work it out until we find something that's like good. So you go
Yeah.
pretty much from like look into my eye, and then you get game over, man, game over.
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
you get it
They work their
progresses.
way to
I
Yeah.
mean, these catchphrases are kind of like the product of the time because, like, the top grossing movie this year in 1986 was Top Gun, which had
Oh, yeah.
cheesy
Yeah.
lines also
Muscles, grease.
muscles, volleyball games, checking watches. You're big on the watches in this movie.
Yeah, there's an iconic watch. We're in the plot. Let's just
okay.
go. Dom, take us through.
And what happens is they go to the colony, and of course, it's overrun by aliens this time, not
the
just one.
There you go. They said
There's
the title.
so
They said the
many.
title of the movie in the movie.
So many aliens.
I don't think they said
Most of the team on the first encounter with the aliens die, except for Bill Paxton. You got your Kyle Reese and Velasquez and the scummy corporate dude.
and the
Burke.
lieutenant.
He
man in
gets
charge.
KO'd.
Right.
So
I
pretty
forgot his
much.
name.
Oh well, you forgot. They get in and they find the entire colonists. They're all bleeping on their little beep boop
Yeah.
map, and they say, you know what? They're all right here. They must be having a town meeting. So they go down there. There's a bunch of alien shit all over the walls. It's H.R. Geigered the fuck out everywhere. So you know there's gonna be aliens nearby. Slime, mist, the whole nine. And
Surprised they're not having a town meeting.
no, they're not. They're actually glued to the walls with
Glued to
alien
the walls,
spit. It was pretty
and
cool, actually.
It's actually a great scene.
So they're in there, and Ripley's like, "Dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you guys can't be shooting bullets in there. You're like on the other side of a nuclear reactor." So there's a scene where they all hand in all their ammo, and except for one person,
Velasquez, of
Velasquez
course.
fucks it up for everybody. Classic
Well,
Velasquez.
Didn't really fuck anything up, honestly.
Yeah, dude, she shot the nuclear reactor and it started going off. The whole countdown of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's actually a really cool scene where like, oh shit, chest burst, light the alien on fire, and then they get movement on their little movement things, which have been upgraded. Thank God.
Well, it took 57 years.
It took 57 years, and they're really not that different. But the aliens kind of like come out of the walls. They're there the
They
whole
are the
time.
walls.
They are the walls, and it was really cool. And
Yeah.
obviously everyone's panicking because they just gave their ammo up and they're getting fucked up by aliens. And Ripley crashes the all-terrain vehicle.
No,
type.
it's
the Batmobile.
It's the Batmobile from the latest Batman movies.
So she...
Yeah, they straight up took it from the latest Batman movies.
Yeah, they used the time machine from Terminator.
No, they didn't need to. They just lived through that time period.
Oh, okay.
So she basically crashes through, and she's kind of assuming her, I guess her old role of the badass. She gets the remaining team out, and they're like, "Oh God, this is bad. All right, we need evacuation immediately."
Yeah.
Fucking ship casual opening the door for no reason. And Spunkmeyer,
it's
classic Spunkmeyer, leaves the door open. Alien comes in, fucks up the pilot.
The plane crashes.
But it was cool how they did it because the ship that was going to pick them up was like flying towards them, and they're like, "Yes,
we're totally saved."
And then it starts getting a little haywire.
They already have Newt at this time, right?
Yes,
yeah, she's. I guess she's important.
Newt is not important to the story at all. It's just that Ripley's daughter is dead because she was just
she's old.
She olded out.
She olded out.
There was only one survivor of the colony.
Apparently,
and it was
they
Newt.
didn't have universal health care or anything.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I mean, she's 66. Come on. And
so she looked real ragged, 66.
So Ripley assumes Newt as her new daughter. She's got that bond with her. So that's really the only reason she's there.
Yeah, so she's hanging
out. And to
out.
juxtapose the like mom fight at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then everybody's pretty much dead except a couple left on the crew. They hold up in one of the rooms, the safer rooms on the other side of the complex in the colony, and basically they're kind of just hiding out there while they figure out a way to get out. There's one ship left. And they have to redirect the satellite to control it.
Yeah.
And they can't call out for help because it would take...
No, they just couldn't.
A signal would take too
long.
But
they wouldn't come for them until 17 days without communication, which is way too long.
Yeah. What happens after that is just a just holdout for a while until the very end of the movie. The extra footage is just kind of like guns.
Yeah.
We have autonomous guns that we're gonna shoot these aliens with, and you got a couple of cool exploding alien shots from that.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
I thought it was all right. I mean, it wasn't necessary for
totally unnecessary.
Some of it reminded me of like the arcade games you would play with the vibrating guns, the blue and red ones.
Those were good.
Yeah, like Virtua Cop or
the
T2
Aliens game.
Or the Aliens game.
Yeah.
Well, that one was cool because this has nothing to do with the movie, but it had like the you didn't actually pick up the gun. You had the
pivot.
The turret.
The pivot. Yeah, the turret. And I guess the newer ones had the ones you could pick up the gun, but
and the flamethrower.
Alien
button on
3,
the side.
I believe you had that. I'm making a lot of hand motions.
There's
like it
so
matters.
many hand motions going on. So basically, everything has gone wrong.
Yeah,
they drop Newt down a shaft by accident, and they're like
on the escape.
And Burke sabotages.
Burke totally fucks everything over. So basically, corporate scum is corporate scum. He was pretty much sent along on the mission to kind of bring the aliens back.
Again, they want the aliens back.
And they tried to swerve you with Bishop because Bishop is, let's say, he's casted as a creepy dude.
Yeah, and we don't trust the robot from the last one. We're like, you know what, the robots are probably all fucked up. But
he's totally cool.
It's the corporate guy, and he says at one point, the biological weapons division would love this.
Stupid garbage.
That
never works.
No, come on. That always backfires. Like, let's get the super disease. It'll be great. And then it kills everyone. Resident Evil. Fuck.
Well, they were doing population control.
Whatever. They did. It doesn't matter.
So Burke screwing them over basically results in everybody else dying except for Kyle Reese. I'm gonna just keep calling him Kyle Reese and Ripley and Newt. They're the only people left.
The only three left, and the robot man.
Well, he's a robot.
He's a robot. So it's bad. They're in pretty bad shape. The nuclear reactor was shot into, and it's blowing up. We have another countdown sequence, but this time it did not take 2 switches and 4 spark plugs to set off.
Well, they accidentally
they fucked up. They fucked up, and everything's starting to blow up.
They actually filmed it at a power plant in England.
That's cool. It definitely looked like a power plant.
Very power plant-ish. Since there's so few people left, and Ripley now childless with her newly friended child,
Newt baby.
Newt baby.
I guess she has children now. the
She has
child
one
now.
child.
Yeah, she has one
a
child.
now.
She lost one child, and she has obtained one child. And so she's got to go back for Newt, right? So she uses the tracker. She finds Newt signal, or she finds the tracker, and she's like, oh my God, she must be dead because she dropped her watch. But then she hears a scream. Newt is in the wall, and she's about to get attacked by a face hugger. Ripley comes in, saves the day, rips her out of the alien snot, and then to her horror looks to her left, which she didn't see the whole way in. She didn't look over there goddamn time.
She had tunnel vision. She was really all about getting that
Right.
Newt baby.
And to be fair, the queen is mostly high up, and then her ass is just like weird.
Yeah,
That's an
swamp
egg
looking-
sack.
That's an egg sack.
sack.
It's
Her
really
egg sack
gross.
is really. I was really upset by this scene.
Tom
I
didn't
mean,
like
it looks like gross,
It was
but it
gross.
looks
Yeah.
good. Like
It was
it's
good.
done well.
It was upsetting.
So, oh my goodness.
We're
there's
in
this
the alien
weird-
hatchery.
Yeah, there's this weird standoff with the two aliens in the corner. They're like, oh, we're going to get you. And then the queen's like, don't you touch them, because she's got a flamethrower pointed at the eggs.
and
then they're like,
there's
okay.
and there's a moment like, I have my child, you have your
Yeah,
children.
yeah.
Let's both bounce. And
Yeah.
the alien was like, yeah, I'll respect that. And then Ripley is like, no, fuck you. Burns that motherfucker down.
Yeah, she really kind of exacerbated things by. They could have went away and then did the plan of like dropping the nuke on there.
Yeah, maybe, but like, you gotta understand that Ripley had to deal with so many stupid men that she
Yeah.
needed to just let go
Okay.
on this situation. And also, she has like crazy PTSD from the first encounter.
Right.
So like, she needed this cathartic release of just
burning
burning
eggs.
a bunch
Yeah.
of eggs and face huggers.
She's
and
had a rough
queen
57
sacks.
years.
She burns all the hatchery and she kills the main guardsmen, their alien guardsmen, because they're protecting their queen. But as they're escaping, the queen detaches from her sack.
Also
Yeah.
her
very
egg
gross.
sack.
Rips
Yeah,
off the
also,
sack.
there's just like shots in the egg sack, and it's just like
'cause she's
shooting out this
pumping that
gross
sack full of
liquid
grenades.
out. And,
Yeah.
Oh my god,
It was gross.
it was
good.
gross.
It was good
Nothing
gross.
has ever grossed me out, probably
Wow.
ever.
Really?
I gotta.
It was really
I have to
gross.
think about it, but that was brutal.
I do feel like there was like, it really felt like they were bugs. It
Yeah.
really did
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like they were like gross bugs. Like,
It definitely did not feel like people.
the last thing you want to do is be like, oh, gross, I got to deal with these gross bugs. And like, that's
Yeah.
kind of what the movie was.
Especially with them crawling around everywhere. That was awesome.
Yeah. So, the alien gets into the elevator.
The queen alien.
And this was all during the
queen.
countdown for the
Yeah,
explosion.
so there's
of the power plant.
explosions, there's wind coming from multiple directions. Ripley and Newt get up. Queen takes the elevator next to them up because she's like, I guess this one's open. I'm going to hop in because Ripley sure as shit wasn't holding the door for her. And then Ripley's like, oh, close your eyes, sweetie or baby or honey.
We're about to die.
And then
My boy Bishop
Bishop flies in
with the newly acquired plane.
to save the day, scoops up Ripley and Newt, and blasts back off to the spaceship. And you'd think
It's over. We're safe.
everyone's safe, and it's
Just
a
like
great
the
day.
first movie, she gets away. There's no problems. There's definitely no aliens masturbating in the
to-
corner.
Yeah. He was taking a fucking nap because he ate all the snacks.
Yeah, he just finished.
Yeah, he's probably tired after that.
So of course the alien was attached to the ship.
Why not?
The queen alien.
Queen alien. It was hot where she was. Everything was blowing up. I would make a last-ditch jump
Yep.
effort as
and
well.
You look so cool, and you spend that money on making that cool looking thing. You got to have it in the.
It's got to
Right,
be in
it's gotta
another
be in the
5 to 7
climax.
minutes
Yep.
at least.
Yeah.
And the climax is actually really cool.
It's
I like
really
it.
good. So they land on the ship, and Bishop's pretty much like, we landed on the ship. And then
He does say that.
he does say that. I don't think he says that, does he?
No.
That wasn't, yeah. He doesn't say that, but he would probably
He
would
was
have
going
said
to
that. He was
until
gonna say it.
alien queen tail just right through the heart.
Right through that milky heart.
Yep.
I was so confused because the entire time. Well, there was a point where I said, "Can the android have like the alien babies?"
Right.
And then that like puncture wound happened. I was like, "What? They can make babies?" And no,
It was a
it's-
swerve.
No, it was a little...
Got
little,
swerved again. He's full of swerves in this
Bishop,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah. Bear in mind, 90% of the movie, he was just fucking around with a joystick
Yeah, he wasn't
outside.
doing anything.
He climbed through a tunnel, and then he was playing Pong.
And then speaking of joystick, there's a goddamn robot fight.
Yeah, that's probably the most iconic scene in the film.
Yep. Ripley takes the I
Ripley
guess the
takes
loading robot
dock bay robot.
and she
she's
uses
certified.
it to battle the queen. And she's using those big old clamp hands, clamping him on the neck and on the
They're
tail.
whacking each other.
Yeah.
And
It's like a Rocky movie except with a robot and an alien.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And guess what? Alien gets blown out that motherfucking bay.
She's like clotheslined over the top rope and out to the. Well, there's a dramatic scene of her getting out of the robot.
It was kind of like
a
choke slam through the top of the cage to fall down. Yeah.
And they open up the whatchamacallit?
The airlock.
The airlock, and then she goes flying just like her predecessor in the first movie.
Except he didn't get burnt with the
She
And
probably make babies elsewhere.
And that's a wrap. We wrap it up.
We wrap it up, man. They go to sleep. They're headed home.
Hypersleep. Hopefully not another 57 years.
We shall see in Alien 3.
We shall.
So that was the movie. Overall, fun movie.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say that this is one of those movies that I saw when I was really little, maybe even too little. Probably not. I mean, it wasn't really that.
No, there's not.
No,
there's not. It's not gory.
It's got the R rating, but I
think maybe due to language.
I guess.
Is there even?
Not really. Maybe a couple fucks, but that's not. This is one of those movies that I've caught on TV from like the good part to the end.
Right.
The beginning's kind of shitty.
It's not that bad. It's just mostly just setting stuff up.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's an action movie. Really, it is an action movie. It's a sci-fi action movie.
So when does the actual movie start? Because I understand that there's director cut.
No, it starts in the same spot, but there's added stuff in between.
There's only
that.
a couple minutes in the
So,
beginning.
what about that dream sequence in the beginning? Because
that's part of the movie.
That's part of the movie.
Yeah.
I really didn't like that dream sequence.
Yeah,
and I think it had to do with her like pulling her shirt up, and I just didn't like how that looked. Like,
you got the old like Freddy going through the wall in her skin.
Yeah, but it didn't look right, and I think it's because they showed too much and tried to make it look good. Like later, that the first cocoon survivor, when that thing tears out of her and it's all liquidy and goopy, and it looked so good because she had enough cover up because she had clothing on and she was dirty. It looked so much better. But when that first thing, I also don't like dream sequences in general.
She just woke up from a 57-year nap. She's gonna have some fucked up dreams.
Yeah.
All right, but like there's several points where she wakes up in this movie.
Right, you don't need to have the dream to know that she's having a nightmare.
I mean,
you don't
she
need
just
to
had
see
a
the dream,
really
rather.
shitty experience with
I'm
an
not
alien.
saying there's a problem with Ripley having a nightmare.
Right,
I'm
you
saying
don't,
the
you don't need
execution.
to, you don't even need to see it. You just need to know, because they do it again. She has a nightmare,
Yeah.
but they don't show her having a nightmare. It just happens.
I think the next movie should just be her having nightmares the whole time.
You've seen the next movie.
Yes, I have. It's not that. I don't know. I think the beginning is a little slow.
Yeah.
And which is okay, I guess. But it's a long movie.
It's not a good slow. It's a lot of like, oh, we're corporate inquiry and we don't like what you've been. And the acting is really bad in the beginning. Like, it's not great acting in the beginning. It's very blah, blah, blah. But we're obviously blah, blah, blah. And we're playing archetypal characters. And I don't think I said a real word right now.
They are. The characters are all like stereotypical and like paper thin. Not really.
Yeah.
It lacks the charm the first movie had between the banter of the actors.
Yeah.
Would you say that the deleted scenes added...
Of course. I will say that.
Enriched the emotional impact of the film?
Yes, it totally enriched the... No, it didn't.
No, it fucking didn't.
No, it really didn't. There's a reason why it was cut.
You get like a setup scene of Newt and her weird pseudo-Australian family, and they find the alien ship, and... I think that they made a good call cutting that, because I think Newt's intro as like this dirty little girl running around on the ship was much better than like, oh my god, my dad's got a thing on his face. No, she's seen some shit.
It also
makes
makes
start out that way.
It also makes Ripley's like, did you have a brother? Did you have a mother and a father? Less
tongue
annoying.
in cheek, just like, I know you had family and they're fucking dead, idiot.
What's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene is when they say, rat fuck son of a bitch.
Explain.
Grease this rat fuck son of a bitch.
That's not my I just wanted to say it. I really just wanted to say rat fuck son of a bitch.
Who says that? Hicks?
Yeah, so not my favorite
Bill
scene.
Paxton says it.
Yeah.
I thought it was Hicks. I think
Paxton was dead already.
Oh, no, he wasn't. No. Because Burke's still alive.
It's not my favorite scene, but when Burke is clearly fucking everybody over. You know what? Actually, that was probably my favorite scene. Ripley goes to hang out with Newt and kind of like comfort her, and they have like a mother-daughter moment where they're sleeping under the bed in the med lab.
Sure.
Kind of horrible place for everything. But shitbag Paul Reiser takes her gun and locks them in when she's sleeping.
Doesn't even just walk away with the gun. Puts the gun in like window
In clear,
distance.
yeah, like, hey, stupid, it's gonna suck because it's right here, and your last moments on this planet are gonna be horrible. And the scene with the two face huggers was pretty good because they made those face huggers look really good and really scary. And it was like a lot of tension in the scene because they were trying to get the attention of the Marines in the other room. And it's a soundproof room that they're in. So they're banging on the glass and they're throwing shit and they're trying to run away from the spidery face hugger. I like that the face hugger moved. It had like a little scamper.
Yeah, they did a good job like bringing that insect phobia we all have with
Yeah,
the way
no,
things
fuck spiders,
crawled at you.
100%.
Bugs are cool.
No, they're not. Nope.
And they even echoed that even when it was adult aliens crawling through. But
Yeah.
that scene was one of my favorites.
It was cool.
too.
And then after they find out he sucks, they say, let's grease this rat fuck son of a bitch. And I'm going to say that every day for the rest of my life.
I'm going to say look into my eye.
Yeah. Really, there's a lot of dialogue you could adapt into everyday life and totally get away with it.
Yeah.
Like, no problem. I could seamlessly integrate, let's grease this rat fuck son of a bitch into my
I mean,
life
how many
every
times
day.
have you heard people say game over, man? Game over.
Game
Yeah.
over, man, game over.
I never realized that was from this movie.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
You are boy. Definitely one of the highlight standout characters in
Of course.
everything he's in.
Well, in this movie in particular, he's really funny. And he's probably one of
I hate his character in the beginning,
Really?
but
He's-
once he starts losing his mind, I think it's
funny.
amazing because it's again the dialogue is really not great in the beginning of the movie. And
No.
Hey,
But-
guys.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite my favorite part is definitely the first time the Marines encounter the aliens when they're in the alien room. Basically, the room is made of aliens.
You know what? The full body shot aliens are significantly better.
Yeah, that's why they look.
you can
They
tell it's
look
not people in
good.
suits and stuff.
I mean, it probably is. They're just really good suits.
I think the full body shots is probably like puppetry or whatever.
I don't know.
A fancier word for that is.
But I thought that scene was really cool just because, like, the whole crew is like, yeah, we're going to waste all these aliens.
completely.
We're going to totally get these suckers. And then immediately, once the room starts moving and you realize, oh, God, there's aliens everywhere, everybody freaks out. The only guy who didn't freak out was the guy who got lit on fire because he instantly got lit on fire by his
he
own
got
teammate
a
and fell
redraw
down a
short.
shaft.
But yeah, that was one of my
straw there.
favorites too because it completely changed the tone of
Yep.
like pretty much the rest of the movie.
It
Because
completely flipped the switch.
You know, the guy, everybody goes in gung-ho like, oh, it's just another bug hunt. We're going to be in and out. They don't charge by the hour. Let's get this shit done, boys. And
Yeah.
they get real fucked up real fast. And
Yeah.
they're scared going out of that, which is kind of cool because now it's like, it's kind of survival-y after that. They barricade
Right.
themselves in. They have to figure out how to keep the aliens out.
and there is way less cheesy lines.
Yeah, I
coming
think
out.
I think the cheesiness in the beginning is to kind of be like show how relaxed that they are
Yeah.
about everything. And granted, it's in an over the top way because it's speaks for the era that the movie
Yeah.
came out in. But also, like you want to be like, oh, these people are ridiculous. Like they're
Yeah.
gonna go in, they're gonna shoot everybody, and they're gonna get out in like 20 minutes. And that's
it plays with the audience's expectations. Like, oh, this is gonna be like a different movie. So when those scenes come in, it's a greater impact.
You kind of just expect waves of aliens, them to just be like, mow them all down.
Which happens kind of, but not
but
really.
not in a good. It's not good. When
Not-
every time
yeah.
they do that, the aliens explode. They shoot them too fast. They get acid on themselves. There's a couple
Yeah.
of acid splashbacks. Tom, what was your favorite part of the movie?
I mean, you guys picked the two that I really liked.
You think rat fuck son of a bitch?
No.
Okay.
The huggers.
in the medical room.
Yeah.
The huggers in the medical room, and the first time you are attacked by aliens, specifically that the cocoon survivor with the alien popping out of her chest.
Okay, yeah,
Because
that was cool.
that was the immediate like button has
That
been
was that was the
pushed.
switch.
But I'll pick a funnier one because I did really love Bill Paxton's stiff scream during the knife trick.
Oh, yeah.
It's so long. Ah!
Yeah, so Bishop is
it's good.
He's a robot, and Bill Paxton's like, hey, do the knife trick, which is when he has the knife and he's going to stab in between his fingers. He's a robot. He can do it really fast, and it doesn't matter if he gets cut.
Right.
What happens is he grabs Bill Paxton's hand and puts it down, and then
Very famous.
Bishop puts his hand on top of it and then does the knife trick, and he's just
How
that
many of you
scream.
out there have reenacted that scene in middle school with a straw.
Or a pencil.
Or a pencil.
Yeah, pencil,
Yeah,
definitely.
dude. That
So
was like
many times.
That was like, Tom, do you not remember that people in school would do that?
I mean, I have many scars on my own fingers from trying to do that with sharpened pencils.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it was made, I'm sure it was a military,
Yeah, I definitely didn't realize that it was probably a direct.
So I definitely have done that with a pencil because of that scene in the movie. And you try and go as fast as possible and you jam a fucking pencil right in your knuckle.
And this isn't a specific scene, but the space shots in this movie were really good. Anytime we were floating, because you made a comment where we repeated shots a lot.
Right, yeah, in the first
This
one.
one tried different angles, and they were really good, even though they were basically, transitions.
Surely they
from
had
one
a
scene to another
massive
scene.
budget to do that with. No?
So the budget was $17 to $18 million.
Okay.
That is low as hell.
I mean,
yeah.
that's more than the first one, though, right?
But, and it's about half of what it cost them for a spaceship.
Right. In the movie, the spaceship costs double what it costs to make the movie.
So yeah, the original was 9 to 11 million. So
Oh, okay. It wasn't that much more than the.
wasn't that
No.
much more.
And this, I mean, really, for the budget, they have more aliens because
Yep.
you called it
The
aliens.
Queen alone,
The Queen alone.
she had to cost $1 million.
Yeah.
Bucks.
I
Not
mean,
probably
all
a
the
lot.
aliens looked very, very good and
Very spooky,
multiple,
very
multiple
drippy.
aliens. They probably just dumped all the money into that.
Sigourney Weaver had to get paid too.
Oh yeah, okay.
This is her second big movie.
How much did Aliens make in comparison to the budget?
it was 131 US, I think, and then globally 183.
Okay, yeah. So no, that did pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say greenlight that number 3,
Why not?
but we'll talk about that later. So, what was your least favorite part of this movie? My least favorite part of this movie was when he said, "Let's grease this rat fuck son of a bitch." No. My least favorite part of this movie, I couldn't shake it throughout the entire time.
Okay.
The sound effects were so bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like every time an alien would do a thing, there was like a, let me swing my hands because I'm not moving that fast. But like all the sound effects sucked and they were mixed weird.
Yeah.
And it was like, let me flip the page in this book.
Oh my God.
Particularly the one
they
that
just,
stood
like,
out.
They stood out like a sore thumb. Like
The
all
one that
of them.
stood out the most was when they wrecked the Batmobile, the car that they were driving.
Shitty clang.
Yeah, they were like,
Oh,
"Oh,
the
you
grinding.
broke, you broke the axle.
Yeah.
Don't stop driving." And it's
Slow
just
down,
like,
man. It's metal on metal grinding.
just like-
But it's really loud. It's like
Yeah.
a really quiet sound effect, but they mixed it really loud. It's like, it was bad.
yeah, they put it too high in the mix.
Well,
Especially,
you guys don't know shit because
I-
they won best effects, sound effects,
I don't
editing
know, dude.
that year.
It
and
was
they
I know
had
that's
the
so-
awards.
that is surprising, actually.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I
They
don't
won
agree.
best visual effects, which
I
makes
totally
sense.
agree. That was
But
definitely.
think of the sound effects for every single other movie.
At the end, the final fight scene, it kind of took me out of it because, like, yeah, she's using the robot loader suit,
The robot.
but it's just there's so many like servo sounds. There's like,
And it's
it sounds like
I'm
RoboCop.
like, hey guys, hey wait, guys, hey guys, let's turn the music off.
yeah, they
for the-
turned the music
Yeah.
off, which made it that
So
much worse.
it's just, and then someone cracking a whip every time the alien would move.
Yeah,
and it was a little silly.
It sounded like
kinda-
RoboCop was just like having the most intense workout of his
He was
life.
on a stairmaster.
And also the fact that they shut the music off, but then they pumped the sound effects up so much
Yeah.
that it really kind of took. That was a cool scene. That we should have probably lowered the volume on.
Yeah. Maybe Jimmy C's like bro
honestly
was like doing the sound
not
effects.
a huge fan of the robot alien fight.
No?
It's very awkward. It's very slow and awkward.
No.
It's very weird that the queen alien suddenly doesn't have dexterity at all.
Well, no, she never had dexterity. When did she show to have dexterity?
She doesn't have to prove that she has a lot of dexterity. We've proven that the robot suit doesn't have
I
dexterity.
guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
she
it's
just
not
got
super-
done having so many eggs. How many eggs did she just lay?
At least,
many.
At least 100 eggs.
And she lost her egg sack. And she lost her guardsman. They died.
She's having a really bad day.
I know. And she's really, she's got
So
her tail
adrenaline
whipped.
should be pumping
No,
through
she's
her.
really
Dude, she's
internally
past
crying.
that, man. Yeah. Imagine it was like the alien in the first movie and she just wants a hug.
Yeah. She
Like
just
the hug
wanted
alien?
mother
Yeah.
to mother. Just
Yeah.
wanted to have a moment.
So I don't know. I think it's like funny because there were some little things like that that kind of like bumped me right out of the movie.
What was your least favorite thing, Tom?
I think I touched upon it before. The dream sequence was pretty bad. There was also there was a good sequence where there was like gun yoga going on that completely took me out of the movie.
Tom was not a fan of the heavy machine gunners throughout the film.
No, I wasn't. Again, I felt like that robot fight scene could have been maybe edited differently.
I think it could have been edited
because it's so like clunky. And I understand that the robot suit is clunky, but it's not good for like the epic finale.
If I was gonna,
in my opinion.
But it's funny because Tom, not having seen this movie, did not know this was coming.
Yeah, no.
And he mentioned how cool the suit was in the beginning.
Yeah, I did.
It was really cool for loading boxes and missiles, but when you're trying to,
it looks good.
It does look good,
and it moves realistically. It's a good piece, but as like the climactic.
I don't know. It reminded me again of RoboCop when the Ed 209 falls down the stairs at the end. It's supposed to be
squealing like a pig clunking down the stairs.
Yeah, but like that happened to the suit. It just they fell down the
it did kind of do an awkward like, oh fuck this, I'm falling over into the space bay.
Yeah, I like that.
Airlock.
I like that. It was cool.
Yo, she would have destroyed her face the way that thing landed on the edge of the bay.
So that was good at least.
My least favorite scene was probably I think any scene with I just didn't like that guy. The main sergeant, he was like the new guy. He was like he was in command of everybody, but it was like his first time in the field.
Because he was a higher up. He just graduated from school. I think that's a thing.
I just didn't like his I don't know. I didn't like his character.
I disagree with you because he was great at the very end where he like goes to save Vasquez. And he's trying to pull her out, but realizes that she can't get out. So he's just like, I'm going to stay with you and blow it up.
I think he redeemed himself.
Yeah, I feel like that was a good character moment from the beginning where he's a shitheel.
But he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. He was just inexperienced, and he didn't have the respect of his men. And then I think him
and Ripley kept on clashing heads where he was just like really
he's
like, not changing his
and she was like, I've seen this shit before, and he's like, I'm gonna stick to protocol. I'm the one in charge. He was probably a little hot to trot, straight out of training. This is my first real or second combat mission. I'm the one in charge. Then he gets knocked down a peg when he gets his concussion. And then he has a redemption moment where they're like, hey,
I like him
okay?
because of that redemption
He's
moment.
like the only, honestly, I know you don't like him, but
I don't like him because he goes away for a large portion of the movie.
Guys, I got my head knocked in. I'm going to be
sleeping.
sleeping.
He goes away for like an hour and a half.
It is weird.
And there is only really one time him and Ripley clash is when they're in the first mission.
The gunfight.
The
but
first
you know
gunfight.
what?
That's the only time they really clash.
We were just talking about thin characters and stuff, and I think he was the only character who had a progression through the whole thing. So 1986 was a year before we were born by a couple years, and other things besides the movie Aliens happened in that year. To give a cultural snapshot, that's what this segment can be called.
So I looked up some random facts.
Yeah, it's the random shit about 1986.
1986. One, there was 3 UFO sightings that were recorded.
Okay.
Which
that seems pretty low.
It seems
it's
recorded. I'm not talking about like Hicks in like the South talking about spaceships.
Whoa.
There was a red orb that like ran into a hill in the Soviet Union. Something happened in Brazil. There was no info on it.
Brazil. What happened?
And then in Alaska, a Japanese plane was basically it was transporting wine and then basically like taunted by a UFO as it flew around it, like defying physics.
Okay.
And there was like 3 witnesses to that.
What you're saying is when the movie Aliens came out, it piqued people's interest in aliens, so they made up a bunch of lies.
Probably.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Also, Voyager 2 space probe made its first encounter with Uranus.
Got him. Yeah, baby.
And
Uranus.
that is my notes on 1986.
Didn't
we also like to look at what other movies come out.
Oh, yeah.
In 1986. You got Ferris Bueller's Day Off, classic.
Ooh,
no
wow.
peeking, no
You know
peeking,
what? I
no
don't like
peeking.
that movie, so...
Well, fuck you.
That's weird. That's
Yeah.
honestly a weird thing for you.
No, because, I mean, we're not talking about that movie, but he's
You
an
don't like
asshole.
it, yeah.
I just cannot stand that character. He's just a jerk, and he gets away with it. And, like, I don't know.
Don't you know the moral of the story? Cool jerks always win.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
it, and his vest is stupid.
Anyway, Platoon also came out. Didn't care. Top Gun came out, which Tom has mentioned.
There's a lot of like
times.
war-esque movies. Like even this movie was.
It was a
like
war movie.
War
Yeah.
movie.
The Fly.
Yes,
Oh,
I love
nice.
that
Very
movie.
gross and good.
That's the best movie you've listed so far.
No, it's not, because 1986 birthed Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, my
what?
favorite movie.
So there's that.
You can tell by the lightning effects.
Dude, that movie's a masterpiece.
Labyrinth came out. Crocodile Dundee. Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck is fun to watch.
Karate Kid Part 2.
That's kind of weak.
Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
I just
If
recently
you're watching
rewatched
Comedy
that.
Central on a Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m., there's a 90% chance you're watching Back to School.
That movie is funny.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yes, that's the one with Dennis Hopper and the Chainsaw Battle.
No good.
Highlander.
See, it's talking about a movie that completely changes tones.
That was pretty much everything of note.
Okay.
And some not of note.
So,
you know
what? I'm still surprised about the sound effect thing.
1986 is not so old to where everything, sound effects should be bad.
I guess the Academy liked it.
I guess so.
And you guys don't understand the Academy like I do.
Sigourney Weaver was nominated for Best Actress that year. That was pretty cool.
I don't think she
should have won.
No.
A nomination is fine enough. What do you guys think in comparison to the first movie? Where would you put? I mean,
we gotta rank them.
What do you think? What do you think?
Watching both movies, pretty much 1 week one, 1 week the next, with a more critical eye than I've watched them before. I enjoyed the first one better, and I'd always liked the second one better until we started doing this.
Wow, okay.
So I'm going to rank the first one as best, and a very close second place, Aliens.
And how do you feel about the franchise as a whole right now?
Right now, we're in pretty freaking good shape. We got
Yeah.
a solid first movie. We got a mostly solid second movie. Both fun, scary, gross. This one wasn't really scary, but it made up for it in other ways, I think. I think there was tension. It had everything. It was good. Both of them were good. Right now, you could stop, and I would be like, I'm good. We're good.
I don't think if I were a fan at the time, I don't think I would say, let's stop.
No, you'd want another one.
I would want another one.
But I think this is a good time to bring this up. Alien 3 comes out 6 years later. And usually on a sequel franchise kind of schedule, you usually get 2 or 3 years cranking them out. So we had 1978.
79.
1979, like I said. So we had 1979, 1986.
Big gap.
And now we're moving on to 1992.
Very spacious franchise.
Very
not overstaying
airy.
its welcome.
No.
And you got to work up to perfection.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
Like
Totally.
You can't
That's
just
what the
bang
third
these
movie
things
is,
out.
So where do you stand on the franchises, Tom?
They're two very different movies. And overall, film-wise, number one is definitely the first one.
Yes, it did come out first.
It did come.
No, I mean, no, as my number one.
Okay, the way you made it seem.
We're doing
Well,
a ranking
I know,
system.
So the first movie
The way it
is
just-
clearly the first movie.
No, like as a
we
whole
understand.
film.
I know.
As a whole film.
Yeah.
Fuck you
It
guys.
was so good, though.
I hate this shit.
It was so good.
I'm out.
Oh
That was
god.
my favorite part of the podcast. Sorry, Tom.
So it's a better movie than the second one. But the second one, I feel like, is probably the movie I would go back and watch multiple times more often.
Okay.
Definitely a Saturday afternooner.
And,
It's on. It's only 20 minutes in. I'm gonna fuck off and do 8 different things while this movie's on in the
and
background.
I think it's a better movie to watch with friends. I think the first one is a better movie to watch alone.
Yeah.
Because you get,
Yeah.
like, really invested in that spookiness, that, like, really slow pace and open air. Where this one is just kind of like you want to have fun.
it was fun.
with
It was
everybody.
a blockbuster.
I also agree. I think one is my favorite by far. I think it's a fantastic movie. 2 is also awesome. It's just completely different. And
I think it worked though.
It did.
If there was another movie like the first one, like she goes into another ship and there's another one alien, you know what? It wouldn't have the same charm.
The second one is infinitely more quotable. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
It's
you
just
greased up rat fuck son of a bitch.
It's definitely a fun. I had more fun with the second one, but the only reason that I think the first one is better, not just because it's a better movie, but also because the second one kind of drags a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot you could have
Director's
cut.
cut aside.
There's a lot you could have
Yeah.
still cut from the regular cut, and that's why I think 2 is just a little bit weaker. But it's definitely fun. It's definitely worth watching multiple times.
Yeah.
And so 1 and 2, I put them in 1 and 2.
Right. Tom, what happens in Alien 3.
Where do you think it's going to go?
Where are we going?
I think we're going to stick with Ripley, because if you go without Ripley, the series has nothing. Like, you have aliens and random people. So it's going to be 57 years later.
Oh, God.
And there has been a crack in the little girl's hypersleep chamber. And when Ripley opens, comes out of sleep and looks at her chamber, it's going to be an older her, but she's going to have a hugger on her face. And then she's going to have to crash land somewhere. And for some reason, that whole planet, it's going to be a planet of aliens. Like, it's going to be their home world, and she's on their turf. And
okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
I wish it was like what Tom said it was like.
Okay.
Maybe it is. I mean, no spoilers for Tom, but will Alien 3 with the little superscript 3 stylized 1992 film continue the chain of nice good ass movies? Or will this franchise go off the rails?
ooh,
Might be a derailment. Might be another
derailment in quality is what you're alluding to.
Perhaps.
Or might.
Perhaps. It's
maybe,
all up in
maybe,
the air.
maybe it's the best one. Maybe it's my number one.
Maybe?
Maybe it's absolutely not. We'll never know until next week on Runaway Franchise, the podcast.
Choo choo.
Oh man, that was kind of cool. Actually, that was better than all the sound effects in Aliens. So, you've been listening to us for the greater part of between a half hour and an hour. It's only fair that you know who we are. You can find us on the internet at www.runawayfranchise.com. Please like, subscribe, and maybe drop us an email. Tell us to shut up. And you can also find us, because believe it or not, we don't just sit inside and wait a whole week to hang out in a blanket fort in my kitchen recording a podcast.
I do.
I mean, yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah, but we all do some other stuff too.
Right.
My name is Ed Jelly. If you plug that into Google and spell it right, you'll probably hit www.edjelley.com. You'll find a bunch of pretty pictures of pen, paper, ink, and stationery. And I write a bunch of other articles all over the internet. So if you hit the website, you've spelled it right, you see a bunch of nerd pen shit, you're at the right place.
Maybe you're another type of nerd. A nerd who likes video games. Well, you can find me, Dom Deladera. Not going to spell my last name because it's too difficult. You can find me at domsfunandgames.com. And you can also find me at Dom's Fun and Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Tom, what the fuck is your deal, dude?
If you didn't like those two nerdy things,
You're gonna love this
you're going to love this one. I'm a comic book letterer. You can find me at tomnapolitano.com. Look at my shit. Buy my books. I'll probably talk about more specific books as we know when these things come out. I'm really bad at Twitter, so you can probably teach me how to use Twitter at TE_Napolitano. And my Instagram is Tom_Napolitano.
So tune in next week when we watch 1992's Alien 3.